Y'all really thought I wasn't going to do Group C, huh? I saw all the comments. Saw them last night. I was trying to go to bed. Where's Group C? LOL, he forgot Group C. Why does he hate us? I don't hate you. I just needed to watch the full 90 of Iran versus UAE before I felt comfortable talking about this group. And that's what I did at 11 p.m. last night. And now I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, I got notes right here. I'm looking at them right now. I got my analysis. I got my strengths and weaknesses. I got my grades for the campaign for those unfortunate teams named Hong Kong that have been eliminated. And we are going to get into all that, but not until you guys leave a like on the video. No, sir. I better see that like button clicked. And also, I need you to hit subscribe if you haven't already done so, because this is one of the best places on YouTube for Asian footy content. So if that's something you're interested in, you might as well hit subscribe, get comfortable. Stick around, baby. For those of you who don't know how this group went down, we had Iran with 9 points, top in the group. Behind them in second, UAE with 4. In third place, Palestine, also with 4 points, but with a worse goal differential. And in last place, Hong Kong with 0. And it was always a big ask for Hong Kong, wasn't it? We are going to start with Iran. And the first thing I want to say about this team is I have been blown away at how balanced the squad looks overall. And I'm going to say of all the big favorites of this Asian Cup, I think Iran looked the best. I do. I know that some Iranian fans are going to be, oh my God, how does he think that? Hong Kong was not nearly as bad as y'all make it seem. I watched the game. It was not that bad. If your center forward could finish and didn't miss, what was it, 4 wide open headers in the box, you guys would have absolutely destroyed Hong Kong. I'm not having any of that. I love that the chances, the goals, they're coming from everywhere across the pitch. Fullbacks, CBs, mids, forwards, wingers. Everybody's contributed to this Iranian side, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to see a Korea where you're basically reliant on Lee Gang-in and Son Heung-min and just praying for a moment of individual brilliance. In fact, with Iran, like their best players on paper, Azmoun and Taremi, they haven't even been phenomenal. I mean, easily their best game was the UAE, where the chemistry between them was incredible, especially Azmoun's flick on. I mean, really 2 flick-ons for Taremi's brace. That was very encouraging to see, because I wasn't worried about it, but I was like, when are they going to turn it on? Well, they turned it on against the UAE. Whoever's going to play Iran, it looks like it would be Japan or Bahrain, depending on which team wins that game. Nobody wants Iran right now. They don't. They don't. I mean, the biggest weakness I've seen from this team is the center backs. They still look a bit slow. They don't look particularly good at man marking. Strong in the air, but if the ball's kept on the ground, you play through the middle, I think you're going to cause Iran problems in that sense. I think Godos has been really, really good. Really, really good. He's first on the team in chances created. He's got 7 already in this tournament, which is also kind of funny. 7th overall at the Asian Cup. He's created 7 chances, and he's 7th in total in the Asian Cup. And the vibes with this team, man, they look great. I know this is a little meta here, and I fully am aware of that. But, the videos I've seen of the team laughing and smiling, and they look like a very close unit afterwards. That's what you want to see. I don't sense a lot of drama that's kind of plagued the Iranian squad in the past. Like, do they look invincible? No, but they look like, for the first time that I can remember, they're fully focused on the football. There's no, political messaging in the background. There's no, I don't know, coach beefing with one player, or the FA is forcing them to play certain things, And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is. It's not showing. And the players don't seem to be bothered by it. So, yeah, maybe somebody at the FA sent a mean tweet about somebody in Galanoy, as you guys have corrected my pronunciation. Maybe he doesn't like that guy. But we don't see the typical backroom issues that we've seen with Iran at tournaments. That is no doubt distracting. It is distracting. I don't care what you say. These guys are human. They have emotions. They want to play football. They want to focus on that. But if something's taking them away from that, they're not going to be able to give 100% on the pitch. I promise you guys. So that's what I've loved so far, watching them play at this tournament. Getting into the negatives, I already talked about the center backs. I feel like that is a weakness with this team. That's going to be an issue against very specific teams. The teams that just rely on incessant crossing in the box. I think Iran's going to be fine. It's going to be the teams, like a Japan, like a Korea, maybe even UAE to a certain degree. We saw it at times, who like to play through the middle a little bit more. I think that's going to be, just a tactical weakness for the Iranians. And some of their play out the back as well. I think Iran can be pressed. I said it before the tournament kicked off. I noticed it especially in the Uzbekistan game, the World Cup qualifier. If you press Iran, they're going to give the ball away. They're going to make mistakes. I don't think they're particularly good in distribution. I don't know his name. Apologies, I should have prepared better for this video, but I have a life outside of this that needs some attention. Number 8 for Iran. I think he's one of the holding midfielders. Again, not very good in distribution. We've seen some bad giveaways from the midfield in this tournament so far. That is how Iran can be got, through the middle and pressing. Other than that, their chance creation looks crazy. Let's just go through some of their team stats. They're 4th in goals per game, 5th in total passes per game, 6th in big chances created, 10th in shots on target. Just it's not a red flag, but it's like, Azmoun especially, he's had some great opportunities, some great shots. He's just not keeping them on frame. Same with some set pieces. They were winning so many corner kicks against UAE. Winning the ball and just not putting it on target, not forcing the goalkeeper to make a save. If they can keep some of those on frame, dude, watch out. This team's going to be so hard to beat. 7th in accurate crossing. 24th, dead last. This is a funny stat. In successful tackles per match. I don't know if that's due to their possession being 4th overall at 64% per game. I don't know if it's more that the team is set up to be an intercepting kind of squad as opposed to like one-on-one tackling, or maybe it's because their CBs can't tackle. I don't know what the reason is there. I just thought that was kind of funny. They will be playing Syria in the round of 16 game. I think they're fine. They will win. They have the players to break Syria down. Syria are not clinical enough. Unless Syria have 2 shots, 2 goals, I don't see them beating Iran. It would be a disaster to go out to Syria, especially with how they played in this group stage. Their record against Syria in the last 28 games, do y'all know what it is? The last 27 games. 17 wins, 10 draws. They haven't lost. I don't think they've lost since 1971 or something when I looked it up. And their last 4, they've won all 4 on the bounce in a row against the Syrians, and by quite large score lines as well. I think this is going to be a comfortable win for Iran. You guys let me know in the comments. Moving on to the UAE. Now, the UAE is a bit more difficult to assess because I really feel like we only got 2 games from them. The early red against Palestine kind of made that game a wash. It made their goalkeeper look good. It made us realize that, okay, they can kind of defend if they need to, but I'm not going to give them too much credit for that because Palestine are a extremely wasteful side. So if they try to play like they did against, if Iran was a man up, oh my God, for as much time as Palestine was a man up, that scoreline would have gotten really, really ugly, I'm telling you now. Yeah, and I think they were fortunate to not lose that game against Palestine. Again, goalkeeper easily man of the match there. And overall, man, when I think about the UAE, I think we've seen 45 good minutes of football. Truthfully, I thought how vulnerable they looked against Hong Kong is concerning. I don't want to talk about Palestine too much because of the man down, and how Iran just picked them apart. Like, I know the final score was 2-1. Y'all, if you watch the game, holy crap. First off, I can't remember which midfielder makes a late run in the box, and the goal is chalked offside because I guess like the thickness of his sock is offside. Ridiculous call. What are we doing in football? Like, this is stupid. That's not offside. It's not giving the offensive player an advantage. That rule needs to be changed. Like, when I've seen some of the calls in this tournament, the automated offsides, it's not the referee's fault. It's the rule. The rule is stupid. The rules need to be changed. But Iran really should have scored. Damn, bro, I'm going to go 5. They were killing him. Absolutely killed the UAE. And I didn't expect the UAE to look that shaky. I didn't expect them to look that vulnerable. I think their midfield of Rashid and Ramadan, they're good technical players. I'm not sure how great they are at playing offensive ball. I don't know if this team can chase a lead. I think if they go down in a game, they're in big, big trouble because lacking pace at the back, again, not the biggest back line either. They've been conceding a lot of chances off crosses and off corners. And if teams can take advantage of that, if they get a bruising center forward they have to mark or something like that, they're going to be in trouble. Again, I don't know who they would play in the quarterfinals. I do know that their round of 16 game is Tajikistan. I'll get into that in just a second. This team is annoying because the potential is very high. I think what separates the UAE from some of the other Middle Eastern sides that I've seen, kind of the tier 2, tier 3 Asian powers, is that they have so many players that can hurt you. They have so many players that can just pull a goal out of their bum. out of nowhere just create a chance. That makes them scary. Will Paolo Bento get them playing like that? I don't know. And is he banned? Because he got a red card. It might be a 2-match ban. I don't know if he'll be back for the round of 16. I don't think it matters. I mean, his assistant will manage again, and I think it'll be fine. But I don't know what we're going to see from the UAE. I have very little conviction other than I don't think they'll beat a good team. Like, again, we'll talk about Tajikistan in just a second here. And a lot of their stats, if you look at them, it's difficult to assess because the Palestine game completely skewed everything. Like, they're first in saves per game at 4 because how many shots did they face against Iran and Palestine? Unbelievable. This is crazy. They're first in clearances per game. 30 clearances per game. That is more than India. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's not what you want to be. They're also first in penalties awarded. And really, that's what's got them in second place. Is the fact they've won 3 penalties. And they missed one against Iran. I don't know, man. This team, difficult. Where do you guys see them finishing in the knockouts? Let me know in the comments because I really don't know what to say. I don't know what to predict. They do have Tajikistan. They've only played twice. Last game was a 0-0 draw. It was a friendly back in March of last year. So less than a year ago. They should win. They should win because their midfield, it's too technical, I think, for the Tajiks. And I think their front line and their wingers are physical. Very physical. I think if they press the Tajiks, it will cause issues. And Tajikistan can't score, really. I mean, I can't see Tajikistan getting more than 1 goal. I think their best bet would to be for the Tajiks, and the biggest weakness for the UAE is to put their big man up top, who they brought on as a sub against Lebanon. I would start him in that game, and I would try to get more crosses in the box that way. The UAE... yeah, like I said, not the biggest back line in the world. Their fullbacks do like to get up. There is space in behind. I just don't think Tajikistan can take advantage of that. I don't think they have the talent, really. I mean, unless Jalilov just... if he pulls out a 35-yard curler out of his back pocket, maybe they got a chance. But I think the UAE overall are through, at least to the quarterfinals. Let's see, who would they play? In that instance, it would be either Iraq or one of the third-place teams. I don't think they can beat Iraq. I don't. Based on what I've seen, I don't. I think it would end there for the UAE. Next team we'll talk about is Hong Kong very briefly because I don't have a ton to say about these guys. I didn't think they were going to get any points at this Asian Cup, and they didn't. And I don't really think they got particularly close. I know people will look at the 1-0 defeat to Iran, but I'm telling you, if the Iranian center forward could just head the ball, I mean, the game was done. It really was. And really just some bad giveaways in the back from Iran that game that Hong Kong could not take advantage of. And let's just get into the first negative. Their front men, Chan and Everton, not good, man. Everton might be one of the biggest frauds I've seen at this Asian Cup. I mean, the guy is a good dribbler. He's a good shot creator. He's not a good finisher. And he's not an intelligent footballer. And if you need to look at that, I mean, look at his penalty miss against Palestine. I mean, the guy just can't score. He can't score. Thinks he's way better than he actually is. He should have had 3 assists this tournament. I mean, maybe Hong Kong could have made a claim for a 3rd place if that guy was better than he actually is and didn't have main character syndrome. But he does. I think he's lousy. One of the most frustrating guys I saw at the Asian Cup. I would never want a footballer like that on my team. That level of selfishness, absolutely not. I mean, it reminds me of like Takumi Asano from Japan. Just like, bro, you're not that guy. You're not that guy. Just chill out. And that's the only way that this style of football was going to work for Hong Kong is if you had some dogs up top and some clinical killers. And they don't. They don't. They had 1 goal at this Asian Cup, which I feel like is pretty good. I'm going to be honest. It should have been more, though. It should have been more. I don't think it would have been enough to win, but they should have scored more goals, and they deserved more goals, but they did not deserve to advance. The back line, way too weak. Their they might have like some of the worst center backs in the air of any team I saw at the Asian Cup. Just not a strength of theirs. A lot of individual errors. Very Malaysia-esque, kind of Vietnam-esque as well. Undisciplined at times, and I feel like part of that was probably the tactics by their manager. Is it Anderson, their manager, which is just go for it. and they went for it, but they didn't get it. You know, if you're going to play high risk, high reward football with Hong Kong in the Asian Cup against Iran and UAE, I mean, you're going to be in trouble. And they were in trouble. And I don't really know what's next for Hong Kong. I think it's encouraging that they scored a goal. I think it's encouraging that they stuck to their style and their DNA. But at the end of the day, they're eliminated. It's interesting to watch, but yeah, the defense just let them down. And it was the second worst defense at the Asian Cup, 2.7 goals allowed per game. That is only marginally worse than Malaysia, who allowed 3 per game. You know, so we're talking about 23rd in goals allowed. Not what you need. I would describe their style, like I already said, it's physical, fast-paced, press and pass. You want some stats to back it up? 6th in fouls per game, 5th in possession won in the final third, the opposition's final third at 5th, 5 times per game. That's crazy. That's probably the biggest dub, I think, for Hong Kong is that stat. Dead last, 24th in accurate passes per game, 109 passes per game. That is wild. That is 90 passes less than the second worst team, Lebanon. 90 passes. So Lebanon pretty much doubled Hong Kong's successful passes per game. Again, you got to admire the style, but it just was never going to be enough unless you had the personnel, which they don't, and unless you have a back line that can really, really, save you and bail you out. And they don't. They don't have either, so they're going home. Sorry, Hong Kong. I guess it was fun while it lasted. I thought y'all's crests were really cool. I did enjoy the jerseys. And last team, Palestine. Jesus Christ. If this team could finish, they would be the number 1 dark horse, I think, of the tournament. If they had a guy who could put the ball in the back of the net, they would be so difficult to beat. But they don't. And as a result, are they going to win the round of 16 game? I'm not 100% sure. I need to look at the matchup. They create such good chances. You watch Palestine, and it's very fluid football at times. They have talent out wide, and they just can't put them away. In the Asian Cup, they are 3rd in big chances created. 3rd. They're only behind Iraq and South Korea. That's crazy. But they're 1st in big chances missed because they can't score. This is going to bite this team in the ass. If they win a knockout game, it's going to have to be on pens or something because I just cannot see them scoring the goals necessary to get it done. 1st in long balls per match, almost 40 per game. That's probably because they don't have a midfield that's very offensively inclined. And this is where I'll get into it. So in the final game against Hong Kong, they switched to the 4-3-3. They put Dubag up, or Dubag, I think is how you pronounce it, up top as a lone center forward. I think that's what you got to go with. I think if they stick with the 4-4-2 like they did in the first couple games, I don't think the midfield is good enough offensively to create chances. Like if they go 4-4-2, it's definitely they're going to lose 1-0. Like that's probably what I feel like is going to happen. Most of their chances right now are coming from Musab Al-Batat, their right back. He's 1st in the team on big chances created. Again, showing that this team's talent, their danger is coming wide. It's very similar to Syria. It's not a lot of midfield creation. They have guys who can do it. Mohammad Rashid, Oday Karub might be able to do it, but you're playing with 2 6s, like not even 8s. You're playing with 2 6s. So they are fully reliant on wide players to get it done. And they don't have wide players who can finish. And before the game against Hong Kong, it looked like they didn't have a center forward either. But Dobug, I think, is the answer. And I think they need to go with that going forward. Again, it depends on the opponent. I think it will be either Qatar or Australia. If Oman wins today, which they're winning right now against Kyrgyz Republic, it'll be Australia. I'll talk about that a little more later. Let me see if I have anything else to say about Palestine. 15th in goals conceded per game, 1.7, and that's a little concerning. I had that as like a yellow flag because remember they did play against 10-man UAE for the majority of that game. I think if they played against a full squad, UAE definitely get more than one. Definitely in that game. I just don't trust the Palestinian back line as much as I thought I was going to. I mean, Iran cut them apart. 45 minutes completely blitzed them, and then they stopped trying. And then yeah, Palestine grew into the game, but again, I don't give a damn. Like you were down 4-0. The opponent didn't care. They just don't want to get hurt. They just don't want to surrender the lead, you know. So their best showing has by far been against Hong Kong with the 4-3-3. The question is, this is a question for the audience. You guys let me know, do you go with the 4-3-3 against Australia? Because if you do, you're going to be more susceptible to conceding. You're probably going to give the leg up to Jackson Irvine and Keanu Bacchus. You're going to give guys like McGree and Martin Boyle or Jordan Boss and whoever else Graham Arnold decides to start. The press is going to be extra dangerous for the Australians. I don't know. You guys let me know. Or do you go 4-4-2, bunker down, double sixes, try to score off a set piece? Try to beat the Australians in the air. I mean, hey, the Uzbeks did it. Is lightning strike twice? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. That's really all I have to say about this team. That is the question. If it's Qatar, bro, I'm going 4-3-3. Qatar is so sorry. I'm going 4-3-3. Just go at those guys. Go at those guys, get the goal, then switch to a 4-4-2 after you get the lead. That's what I would do. But hey, I'm not a manager. I'm just a guy on YouTube who talks about football. So that's the video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. Again, hit subscribe so you don't miss the live streams we're doing for the knockout games, my knockout predictions video, which will be dropping soon, and whatever else we decide to do covering Asian football. We got some other collabs with some creators. They will be dropping on the channel before the knockouts kick off. Hopefully. I don't know. You just have to follow us on Twitter, link in the description, so you know whenever a live stream is scheduled, so you know whenever a video comes out. I appreciate you guys for watching or listening, and I'll see y'all on the next one.